that is the sound that will make Fred happy. Yes. Oh yeah. Nice. Alright people, so this is the new NZXT H700i. NZXT doesn't release that many cases, and they go through a bit of revisions on their previous cases in terms of color selection, like the Hyper Beast series or the other esports related stuff. But this, my friends, I'm very excited about this one. Yeah. So the H700i is first of its kind smart case, in that it will reduce the speed of the fans in order to control the noise level of the case itself, aka your system. So we haven't seen anything like that on the case integration in the past, and I'm wondering if it will stick. Wow. Huh. But is it Fred approved? Let's check it out right after this. The Graham Spectrum keyboard by Tesoro comes with a new mechanical agile switch with low profile keycaps with super fast response and shorter actuation distance, plus all the customization included with RGB lighting and macros for a premium user. As usual, as with any tempered glass side panel, the first thing comes the peel. Satisfying. What else is satisfying are the looks. I think this is one of the best looking NZXT cases has put out in a while. They managed to make this boxy frame look truly unique with angular ventilation around the perimeter and the glass panel that does not protrude outside of the frame. For the price of $199, you do get that premium looking case that feels the part with an all metal exterior, and this is not your average interior layout that improves on their previous designs with regards to cable management and water cooling, and I'm really excited to see what people can do with the H700i. And there are also mini versions available too, like Micro ATX and the Mini ITX form factors, so the size options cover the full spectrum. The glass panel mount is standard, 4 thumb screws. Let's see what happens once all of them are removed. Is the panel gonna fly out, or is it just gonna... Okay, so yeah, it has a nice bottom lip on which the glass panel sits, so a little bit of safety, always appreciated. I really like how this rear panel opens with a simple push of a pin on the rear and it pops out like that. You just have to be careful to actually catch the panel, otherwise it'll just simply fall out. And I would say this is one of the few cases that has attention to detail to back up its high price, like the purple USB 3.0 ports, although it's sad not to see Type-C port. It's a 2017 release after all. There is a mini puck at the rear of the chassis as well that can be used to wind up cables, and it's awesome to see a functional miniature version of the puck inside an NZXT chassis. I do like the circular mesh on the exterior to mix up the shape texture, and finally we have seriously the best cable management work out of the factory that I appreciate, plus the integration of multiple channeling routes to get those smaller cables organized, and there are 4 fans included in the system already with a control hub that requires power. So it's really nice surprise to avoid frustration once you begin the assembly, because everything is pre-routed for you already. And the only thing I'm disappointed to not see are any cable tie hoops on this rear side of the white bracket. I know it's meant to be for a reservoir, but it'd be nice to route my 24-pin cable and have it secured anywhere along the height of this white bracket so it doesn't move around when, you know, it's exiting onto the other side. Oh, and there's also built-in case lighting in the proper top position to avoid the harshness of those LEDs, plus an additional 4-pin extension that you can connect your own lighting to. And with all the talk about attention to detail, look at the bottom fan and look at the sticker, and so the orientation does not match the other 2 fans. Come on, NZXT. Now the one thing I don't understand is why the NZXT Puck is not included with the H700i. It's included on the S340 Elite, and the surface material over here, because it's all metal, accommodates the Puck perfectly so you can hang your headphones, and I do this on my case all the time, so the Puck would have been a perfect default addition with the H700i. Now, with the case being fully closed at the front and the top, I think many are concerned about the airflow given how the H440 didn't do that great with cooling. So the front panel is pretty thin and has over an inch of clearance from the fans, so they won't be choking up. The dust filter is also part of the equation. It's magnetic and easily removable, and there are 3 120mm fans that are high airflow type and not the high pressure type. And the same thing can be found in the rear, but this one is 100 140mm. We have maximum of 70mm of clearance from the fans to the white bracket, or about 65mm to the hard drive cage, but that is on rails and can be moved without causing power supply issues. And also, I don't know why we have such a large range in terms of where you can position the hard drive away from the front panel, because positioning it just maybe 1 centimeter away from its default position would make all the clearance for the front, and because you can't mount anything beyond the frame itself. So I don't know why you'd want to position the hard drive all the way closer to the power supply area, but I'm guessing the option is there. The top fan bracket is finally standalone, so you can remove it and install fans or radiators outside of the frame and then simply lower that from the top. My 280mm EK radiator fits no problem, and you can go up to a 360 rad in here as well. Do note that fans can be installed above this frame, but I wouldn't recommend it because there's no air with the top panel installed. I really do appreciate this innovative new way of mounting SSD hardware. So this simple bracket that does not require any screws, and because of this perforation on the power supply shroud, you can literally mount this bracket anywhere you want. So if you want it a little bit closer to, or like, closer to this cutout, that is a possibility, my friend. Simply push on this little pin and pop them out, and then reposition. Boom. The same applies to the side one. As you can see, the little mounting holes over here. The only thing is that there's no direct cutout right beside it, so you have to mount things behind this white bracket. Now, the one thing I'm actually concerned about is this bracket, and say you mount a 360 radiator at the front, which you can do, there's plenty of room, but what if your tubing is coming out from the top? And, we have this big, thick white piece over here. So will it complicate things for water coolers if you are doing anything at the front? I mean, you can't possibly get the tubing from the bottom unless you're doing hard tubing and doing like 90-degree bends all over the place. But, I understand that this is spaced out to allow a 360 radiator or something mounted to be at the top, but I'm wondering if this will be complicating things for the front instead. So based off my initial impressions, I think the H700i will be a popular case, not among just water cooling enthusiasts, but somebody who wants that very nice and simple boxy look with this modernization that is attached to it. And I'm glad that NZXT is going to that direction and has continued to go that direction, so their entire case portfolio has that nice cohesion factor, something that not many case manufacturers do these days. Alright, so I think NZXT have done a really good job with the H700i, introducing some innovative features like the perforation on the power supply shroud to maneuver your SSD caddy, and the integration of those cable management plastic channels on the rear to really just help you out so that you get in, you route all your cables, nothing is poking out, and it's all there to help you with the assembly process. So the next thing for me would be to populate a system in here and play around with that whole smart functionality of the CAM software controlling the fan situation based on temperatures and noise levels, of course. So stay tuned for that video. Until then, let me know what you think of the H700i in the comments below. Make sure to check out these other relevant videos here, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.